Hello everyone, thank you for joining me again and welcome to any new viewers. This is To The Point English with Ben. I'm Ben. Do I need a new introduction? I think it's starting to get a bit annoying, isn't it? Anyway, in this video you're going to learn 5 very advanced phrasal verbs and their fascinating origins. Now you may be asking, why only 5? You've probably seen other videos on YouTube where you can learn 50 or 100 phrasal verbs in one video. Well, I believe that sometimes less is more. You can watch those videos and maybe you'll learn 100 phrasal verbs, but you'll remember very few and you will have wasted a lot more time. But I can guarantee that if you pay attention to the end of this video, you will learn and remember these 5 very advanced phrasal verbs. But let's go straight on to the first phrasal verb now. To buoy up, buoy up. Now, to buoy up basically means to make somebody feel happier or more positive. So I'll give you a couple of examples and then I'll explain the origin. If you're not interested in the origin, then you can just skip to the next phrasal verb, but I do recommend that you watch the whole explanation. He was pessimistic about his exam, but his teacher's encouraging words really buoyed him up. He was pessimistic about the exam, but his teacher's encouraging words really buoyed him up, so they really made him feel more positive about the exam in this case. Another quick example, I was feeling a bit down last week, but West Ham beat Tottenham, which really buoyed me up. So you can imagine my football team is West Ham United, and their big rivals are Tottenham, and if West Ham beat Tottenham, it makes me happier, it makes me feel more positive, so it buoys me up. Now the origin of buoy up is actually quite interesting because a boy, which is pronounced exactly the same as boy, the opposite of girl, it's a float that you see in the sea, usually orange color, sometimes yellow or other colors, but more commonly it's orange. And now they float on the top of the water, of course, because they are buoyant, they have buoyancy. And so you can imagine with the phrasal verb to buoy up, it sort of lifts you to the surface. If it makes you happier, it makes you more positive, it kind of cheers you up, it lifts you to the surface, it makes you float. And the second phrasal verb I have for you today is to stave off, to stave off. Now this means to stop or to delay something from happening. So something bad. So I have a real life example for you. This was a headline in the Guardian newspaper recently. It's now or never if the world is to stave off climate change. So it's now or never if the world is to stave off climate change. Another example, to stave off hunger, I usually have a mid-morning snack. So to stave off hunger, this bad thing that's happening is hunger in this case. So I want to delay hunger by having a mid-morning snack. So this also has quite an interesting origin, and often with phrasal verbs, the origin comes from many years ago, centuries ago, as is the case with this phrasal verb. To stave is a very old verb which we don't use in modern English, but it means to keep away with a staff, which is a stick. It's a stick that, for example, shepherds use. So to keep away, so to keep animals away, for example, to keep wolves away, you can use this stick to keep them away so they don't get too close to you. So over the years, as I said, the verb to stave has basically disappeared from the English language, except in this phrasal verb. So it has survived in the phrasal verb to stave off. Okay, the next one, number 3, is a nice one. It's to while away, to while away. And this basically means to spend time doing something nice, pleasant, and easy. So to pass the time, basically, doing nothing too serious or intense. So the example is, since she's retired, my mum whiles away her days reading and playing bridge. So she just passes the time doing something easy and fun that's not too intense, not too demanding. Now the origin of to while away, perhaps you can imagine, because I'm sure you know the meaning of while as a noun. A while is a period of time, so a short period of time. It's from Old English, and I'm not sure how to pronounce this word, but let's say while, I don't know, but which means a space of time. So that's the origin of the Old English word, which comes from Proto-Germanic, and again, I don't know how to pronounce this word, but it's something like huilo or huilo, I don't know, but you can see the origin. But the Proto-Germanic word actually meant a period of rest. So it developed from there, Proto-Germanic, a period of rest, to Old English, a period of time. And the modern use of while is a period of time, of course, but to while as a verb, to while away, is to pass the time in a fun and easy, pleasant way. And the fourth very advanced phrasal verb for you today is pipe down. Pipe down. And this means to stop speaking or stop making noise, to be quiet, basically. And it's usually used as an exclamation. Usually somebody would be telling someone else to pipe down. So the example is, the teacher repeatedly told the class to pipe down, but they just ignored him. So you can imagine the classroom of kids making a lot of noise, shouting and screaming, and the teacher was saying, pipe down, pipe down. But no, they just continued. And the origin of pipe down is nautical, and it's quite old. So it's from sailors and ships and boats. And it was basically that when it was time for the crew on the ship to go to sleep, so to go below deck, so to go down, the signal would be from a pipe or a whistle. So somebody would signal to all the crew that, you know, the end of your shift, the end of your working day, it's time to go below decks and sleep. So you can imagine on the boat there would be a lot of noise and movement, but when the pipe sounded, it was time to go down. So pipe down, that's the idea. So everybody would be quiet because it was time to sleep. Now, interestingly, you also have the opposite, which is pipe up. So rather than pipe down, pipe up. But the meaning is not exactly the opposite. It means to suddenly start speaking, so to say something suddenly. So it may be in a situation where the person is very quiet, is not contributing to the conversation, but then pipes up, so they suddenly say something, they suddenly make a contribution. So for example, Jenny piped up in the meeting when someone mentioned working at the weekend. So you can probably imagine Jenny is maybe very quiet in the meeting, maybe she's not paying much attention, she's letting other people do all the talking, but then she hears someone mention the possibility of working at the weekend, and then she pipes up. She suddenly says something and makes a contribution to the meeting. By the way, this is my second video on very advanced phrasal verbs and their fascinating origins. A few months ago I made another one, so I'll put the link in the description so you can check that one out after this one, of course. But let's look at the fifth and final phrasal verb today, which is claw back. And this means to recuperate something with difficulty. Very often it's referring to money, so to recuperate money, but there's some kind of difficulty involved. It's not just to get back, because you could use get back, but get back doesn't really include any sort of difficulty, any struggle. But to claw back has more of an emphasis on difficulty. So the examples: the company's #1 objective this year is to claw back the losses suffered during the crisis. So you imagine this company that has just gone through a crisis and lost a lot of money, and this year the objective is to claw back the losses, so claw back the money that they lost before. So it's going to be difficult. It's not just a simple case of getting back the money. You have to claw back the money, make an effort. It's not always used with money though. It can be used in other situations. For example, so the government needs to claw back power before it's too late. So the government needs to claw back power before it's too late. So this idea of recuperating, but in this case recuperating power, not money. So what is the origin of claw back? Well, maybe you know the meaning of claw. A claw is the sharp curved nails of an animal. So for example, a cat, a dog, or birds. So you can imagine when an animal, a cat for example, I have the image of a cat in my mind, is trying to get a mouse or any prey that it's killed, and it's trying to get it from another cat or another animal. So you can keep that image in your mind when you're trying to remember this phrasal verb, a cat trying to recuperate a little mouse. It's maybe not the most pleasant image, but I'm sure it will help you remember it in some way. As always, I recommend you come up with your own examples, write a sentence for each one of the phrasal verbs at least, try to make some kind of emotional connection, maybe put them in the comments, because that will help other people too. Okay, I look forward to seeing you very soon for another video. Take care, bye.